Hello, Dave Ganderos here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's May 21st around 11 p.m. Putting a video together today for you guys. Haven't had too much feedback from you guys on what type of video you want, so I decided to put one out regarding roadmaps and goal setting and just a path to creating wealth for yourself, generating streams of income, those kind of topics. So before we get into the details of the video, I just want to share with you my YouTube channel here. If you look at one of my videos here, you'll see underneath the video there's a little area, red area, subscribe. If you're interested in getting notified when I put out a new video, please subscribe and click the little bell and you'll get notified. In addition to that, make sure you look underneath the video for additional information. I typically put some more details on how to get in touch with me, some of the topics that are discussed in the video, making sure that you understand this is not investment advice. It's just my opinions and thoughts on how you can go about creating some wealth for yourself. So just make sure that you're aware that I'm not saying for you to do something. You got to make up your own decision, and you got to view multiple people's opinions and create what is best for you. So please don't take this as financial advice. It's just how I do things, and you got to decide for you if how I do things is good for you, or a piece of what I do is good for you, and you got to create your own goal and your own plan to get there. So again, just make sure you look in the video. There's ways to contact me. Certainly contact me in another way other than YouTube, in case, as you well aware probably, there's a lot of YouTube channels being shut down and things. So if that ever happens, I want to be able to contact you. So please become a friend with me on Facebook, connect with me in another way so that we can stay in touch. I might consider putting together a like a list that you can subscribe to so that I can communicate with you in case anything ever happens with my YouTube channel. It wouldn't be used to promote anything. It would be just if something happened here and I wanted to be able to get in touch with you and tell you what's going on and how to get in touch with me in the future. If for some reason the YouTube channel goes down, that's a way that I can reach out to you guys. So that's I'm going to be working on that, and it's up to you if you want to subscribe to that, but I certainly don't want to lose any subscribers that I have here in case, as you see, there's some big names leaving YouTube. So you never know what can happen, right? So consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on that little red button right there, and you'll be notified when I put out a new video. In addition to that, like I just said, Facebook is my other main social media platform. I use Instagram, I use Twitter, and I use all the others. But I do a lot of interfacing, a lot of chatting and discussions with friends that connect with me on here. We can stay in touch in here and communicate and discuss opportunities and see what you're interested in. I can guide you in the right direction if you're just starting out, those kind of things. So consider connecting with me on Facebook as well. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about, first of all, like, you have to come up with a roadmap, right? Everyone has different goals, different levels of success that's going to make them happy. Some people need an extra $100 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. Some people want to replace their income. So in order to do that, you got to roadmap yourself with an opportunity or ways to earn to get you there. You can't worry about getting everything at one time. You have to consider maybe just trying to knock out making some extra money to pay for one bill, right? Once you get there, look for a way to grow it even further to pay for a second bill. And then before you know it, you're going to make enough to pay your bills, which isn't necessarily how much you need as to live, but every bill that you make enough money to pay for takes off the stress of you having to work a 9 to 5. So one of the best ways that I've found over the years of doing this is through FOREX. So I have an opportunity where I utilize some software to generate fluctuating returns. I can't quote any specifics on what I get because it's live market, live trading, and things change. It's not always the same every week, but as you do this for a while, you can start figuring out how you did 1 week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, and then over a couple months, you could come up with an average percent that you're doing over the longer term. And with that, you can kind of roadmap yourself to how long it'll take you to get to your goal based on previous history of your account and how you have your settings, how you're operating with your software, what kind of pairs you're trading against, the risk management you're using, all those things that come along with this opportunity that you will get exposed to. And it doesn't require you to know any type of Forex trading. So you just have to understand how to configure the software, and then make sure you maintain and check your software often. You're going to have to accept trades. So it's not going to be a set it and forget it. But once you start seeing the type of money you can generate using this, you're not going to mind clicking some buttons every couple hours or every couple days. And you're not going to worry about the minutes that it's going to take for you to configure your software once a week. When you start seeing the type of money you can make, those couple tasks that you're going to have to do to get there and to make that kind of money, you're not going to really complain about the level of effort. So it's not like you're going to be working a 9 to 5, 40 hours a day, 40 hours a week working this software. It's basically at most maybe an hour a day when you really figure out everything you got to do and things, if you want to promote it, if you don't want to promote it, those kind of things. So again, I just want to stress to you that it's not a set it and forget it type opportunity. You're not sending your money somewhere else. You're keeping control over your money, and you're managing the software because you're buying a license to use it. And now you're using that software. You're setting it to some either guided information from the company. They're going to explain to you what each setting is. They're going to suggest a typical. They can't give you financial advice because they're not financial advisors. It's going to be up to you to decide what the settings are going to be for your account. But they're going to give you the pitfalls of being too high risk and how, with leverage, that can put you at risk. So they're going to educate you in a way where you're going to understand risk management, and you're going to come up with a trading plan. You're going to come up with software settings that are good for you. The best thing about all of this is you can start with a demonstration account, which is not live money. So you can play around with the settings and see like, oh my God, I would have lost my whole account if I would have done something stupid like this, and not lose your money. So after using it with the software for about a month on the demonstration account, you'll get a feel for what the software is all about, and then you could put live money to work for you. Now, what I did for myself, and if you decide to join my team, I'll certainly give this to you, is I like to think big picture. I like to get a roadmap. I want to see the what ifs. I'm an analytical person. I'm a numbers person. I like to crunch the numbers. I like to see visualization of where I can be if I do certain things. So I created this little 52-week compounding calculator, and it's basically very simple. Really, all it is how much you're going to start with. Say for example, you start with $3,000 in your account, and then you can make estimates on what you think your weekly gains are going to be. And again, this is not a guaranteed you're going to get exactly that much percent on any given week. It's going to be dependent on the Forex market, how it's trading, how volatile it is, how slow it is, if there's holidays, if certain markets aren't open. So there's going to be a low and a high, and over time you're going to be able to come up with an average. So so personally, I have a little bit higher risk that I do on my account, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. So just for assumption purposes, and this is just an example, this is not suggesting that this is what you'll get with the software, but what you can do is once you have your software and you have an understanding of how much money you can put into your broker account and how much you can get started, you can start doing some calculations on where you could be in 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, half a year, full year. And you can start visualizing and keep yourself motivated to get you to that goal. So for example, if you just, I'm going to put 0.03, which is about 3%. So that could be an example. That could be like, okay, let me start with a goal of trying to earn 3% a week. And again, this is not a guarantee. I'm not saying you're going to earn 3% a week, but this is a way to visualize what can happen over a 1 year period with you just putting in $3,000, and if you on average over the year come out to averaging about 3% a week, your $3,000 account over a 1 year period can turn into $13,000. Right? So that's just a way for you to see that, you know, you could pretty much Forex your account over a 1 year period by compounding, by leaving the money in the account to grow even further. So like on a weekly basis, you make $90 the first week, 92 the second. That's assuming that you leave this money in to grow and compound. This is a compounding calculator. This is to show you the strength of compounding interest, right? Or compounding profits. So for example, so you start with 3,000, and then maybe you decide, all right, maybe I can add $100 every week to my account. So then you go and you can put that in here. You could put $100 a week, do that every week for a year. So that's about $400 a month that you'll add, and you'll see that your $3,000 plus the 100 times 52, which would be 5,200 that you'd be adding over the year. Your 3,000 plus the 5,200 that you add will turn into close to 40,000 in a year's time. Or maybe you decide you're able to start, or actually, leave this at 3,000. You know, taxes are coming back. You know, I think it's somewhere. This is May, so this would be June, July. So for example, if you got your return somewhere around here, and for whatever reason your return is like $5,000, maybe you decide to push that right into this account. You know, this is just a way for you to kind of see the what ifs. Like if, for example, you got a return back and you were able to put the 5,000 into the account and let it work for you, you know, these are the numbers that will come out over a year. You know, you'll end up having 63,000 in the account working for you, and at the end of 1 year, every week you'll be generating $1,200 from the software at 3%. If your software is able to you know, qualify and get you 3% on average per week, you'll end up generating $1,200 per week. So now what you could do here, I added this extra column to kind of give you a snapshot of if you got your account at whatever level and then you just stayed at that level for 52 weeks, this would be the equivalent annual salary before taxes, of course, but this would be kind of like your gross. So wherever you are right now with your salary, you could kind of see like, okay, if I earn 50,000 now a year, this is where I would have to get to replace my full-time income. So you can set up a goal to get you to your full-time income. So if 50,000 is your goal and you want to get to it earlier than week 45, then maybe you got to decide you got to put $200 a week in. And you could see instead of week 45, by doing it this way, by doing it this way, and I think I had 5,000 here. So say you still did your 5,000 tax return in here. So now instead of week 45 to get to 50,000, now you've pulled it back to only taking 38 weeks. So you could just kind of see, you know, I mean, you may not, I mean, you got to put in what you can afford, right? You don't want to overextend yourself and go into debt to do this. But the goal is here to have that inflection point where this is growing, this is growing, this is growing, then all of a sudden it's equal to your salary, and then it supersedes your salary. And then you got to make a decision on what point do you want to maybe start taking out 50% of your profits per month and start paying off bills. You know, I think, well, personally, my goal is to always get it to the point where it's replacing your full-time income, right? That would be like financial freedom. When you can say that you can generate enough doing this that's equal to your salary or equal to your gross pay, or in fact, you actually got to consider more than your gross pay, because you got to consider health insurance, you got to consider the time off that the company pays you, you got to consider the 401k matching if you get matching, all those things, you know, that or Social Security, you know, what the company pays into your Social Security and things like that. So all those kind of things got to be rolled up. So like, just because you make $50,000 a year working for somebody that doesn't mean that's what the company is. That's not your cost to the company. So if you make $50,000, when you start rolling up your benefits package and your health insurance and all the things that you get for working for this company, they may be laying out like $75,000 for you. So $25,000 in fringe, what they call fringe benefits, right? The 401ks, the vacation time, time off, days off, sick time, 401k matching, all those things. You got to consider all those little numbers into the final number that you can say to yourself that you make enough, like maybe it's 80,000. You make enough to take care of your own insurance, take care of your 401k, if you want to continue doing the 401k. But in the end, you should still consider that number in the number that you need to generate to replace your income, because it's not just what you gross as a salary that you got to consider. You got those other things to consider. So don't forget that. But, on the other hand, if you have some debts and you're able to generate, some money at whatever level it needs to be for yourself, say like here, so you get to this point where you're making $1,000 a week. So that's $4,000 for a month. Very quickly, once you get to this level, you can start taking, if you have debts that you want to pay off, you can maintain your account at this level. If this is what you're making, pull out the profits every month and pay off some of those bills, or leave it in here, let it grow even further, or take it out and invest in cryptocurrency, a certain portion of this every month, take out, build a position in cryptocurrency. So you always want to, so the point is, you want to get this to the point where it's making you money, and then you want to branch out and take that money and let it work for you in different ways. So this is great. I mean, you get there, you make some good money, say you're making $1,500 a week. Now you got to decide, what else can I do to make even more money? So maybe you're happy with keeping your account at this level, and every month you take out $6,000 and you start doing something else with it. Maybe you come up with a down payment to buy a house or rental property. Maybe you put it into some stocks. Maybe you put it into some crypto. You got to generate multiple streams of income. And this is just an avenue and a vehicle to get you there. And the best thing about this whole thing is you don't need to depend on building a team. Now, of course, if you start building a team and you start generating commissions, you can very quickly, add money. The money added could be the commissions you're generating by sharing this with people. So this acceleration and exponential growth that you see on compounding could be even multiplied even faster if you start pushing the commissions you generate into the account to allow it, like say for example, over 4 months, so week 16. So over a 4-month period, if somehow you generated an extra $1,000, assuming you're going to put $200 in as well, assuming you generated an extra $1,000 worth of commissions, now you could see how things increase and you get closer to your goal faster. Like your goal should be is figure out what number needs to be here, and then find ways to bring it back from 34 weeks down to 30, so maybe you decide to put in 6,000. So for example, let's go 40K takes 31 weeks. So now let's put in 6,000. Now 40K, you only take 24 weeks. So you've knocked off 10 weeks by putting in $3,000 more. Now, you got to decide what you can afford here. Not everybody is going to have that same number here, and you got to tweak this number. Do you want to go for 3%? Do you want to go for 5%? And you're going to have to derive this number based on historical of how your account's acting. So this number is unknown until you use the software, until you decide if you want to have it on 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, the whole week. How often you accept trades. There's no way for you to know exactly what you're going to make until you start getting into a rhythm of using the software and know how many trades you accept, how many days a week you trade, what pairs you trade. Those are all variables that you're going to figure out as you get started with the software. But so this could go, for example, you might find out that you can make 6% a week. You never know. You never know until you start doing it. And very quickly, look, the 40,000 that you would have taken 24 weeks, now you can get it within 10 weeks. And that's just, because you got a higher profit per week. And so that it's going to be all dependent on your numbers. But again, I'm looping back to the original plan here. The original plan with this document right here is to give you a roadmap to visualize where you can be and how long it will take you, and keep you focused and disciplined to get you there. Maybe when you get started, you're going to find out that you have a bunch of stuff at the house that you no longer need. So maybe you could generate an extra $1,000 by selling some of the crap that you don't even use. And then you could see how that'll get you to your goal faster. I mean, with 6,000 at 6%, you can get to a six-figure income in almost 20 weeks. So, but I mean, of course, it's with these additional cash adds. So you got to decide what you can afford, what you can't afford for this. I can't tell you that, but I'm just giving you the tool that you can use. And maybe you can't afford anything. You just start with 6K at 6%, and this is where you can get by the end of the year. And this is my little marker saying that at week 20, we're pretty much halfway through the year. By December, with these kind of numbers, you can grow your account to having $25,000 in your broker account. If it earns on average 6% a week, you'll generate about $1,500 a week. That's about 6K a month. And when you figure out that over a 52-week period, that's equal to earning an $80,000 salary. Now that's gross, and that's not all the other things I mentioned earlier. That's not your vacation time. That's not your 401k. All the benefits that you get from your company, you got to derive a number of what those things are worth. And if you truly want to go on your own, you got to realize you're going to have to pay for your own health insurance. You got to, if you want to put money into a 401k type account, you got to consider that. You got to consider if you're going to start an LLC and you want to do a SEP where you want to match what you deposit. All those things got to come into play. But don't overcomplicate it for now. Just come up with a number that you are satisfied with. This is like, think about this. Right now you might be working, so this is additional income in addition to what you're making at work. So personally, you should always, in my mind, you should always figure out what it'll take to replace your current income. And at that point, once you get to that level, the pressure's off. Being tied down to a company, to a supervisor, a business, you're not going to have to work for somebody anymore because you're there. If you want to leave your job, you have a source of income that's going to replace it, and there's no risk for you to walk away. And that's a great feeling to have when you get there. So again, this is just recommendations and ideas, how you can use this tool to kind of visualize your goal, set up a goal. Like I said, everyone has different amounts of money they can start with. Depending on what your account, basically how you run your software is going to dictate how this comes out to play. Is it going to be 3%? Is it going to be 6%? Is the average going to be 10%? You'll never know until you start using that demonstration account and get committed to operating the software with the recommended settings, not directed settings, and how often you click to accept trades, what pairs you trade, how much money you put in. All those kind of things are going to dictate this number, and that's going to be dependent on you and how you configure your software. But realize that the company offers all the resources, all the training, everything that you need to do this without being a Forex expert. You don't need to be an expert. It's very highly recommended, in my opinion, that you take advantage of all the training the company offers for you to learn the trading, but you don't have to. Like, to get started at day zero of doing this, you don't need to be a Forex trading expert or a technical analysis expert. You don't need any of that. All you need to know is how to configure the software, how to accept the trade, how to deposit money, how to be committed to, the end goal of where you want to get. That's all you really need to do this. So I don't want to make this video any longer, but if this is something interesting to you and you want to contact me for more information, certainly get in touch with me on Facebook. Put a comment on the video. I'll reach out to you. We can connect. I can share some more information about this. And again, it's all about what you can start with. Whatever it is. I mean, honestly, I think, realistically, if you really want to be able to cover the cost of the subscription over a monthly period, I wouldn't recommend anything less than $1,000 to get started. And again, don't forget, this is in your own broker account. It's your money. You're not sending money to a system where you'll never get it back, possibly. This is in your control. This is in your broker account. You can take it out when you need it. You can add more when you need it. And no one can tell you otherwise. You could turn the software off and take all the money out. For example, if you grow it to 30,000 and somehow, for whatever reason, you're going to buy a house and you need to have a down payment and you need all this money and you're okay with starting over with your account, then consider this like a savings account for some goal. You could take that money out. As long as your broker allows you to withdraw that amount of money based on the deposit withdrawal requirements, it's your money. So you're not going to be dependent on hoping that the company is around in a year where the money you sent into the system or the company could disappear when they fail. This is in your broker account, right? So it's yours. It's not going out of your control. All you're doing is making a connection from the software to your broker account. The software does not know, does not have access to any of your funds. It can't withdraw your funds. It can't do anything. All it's doing is it's sending in signals to do a trade based on you approving that trade. So there's always a man in the loop. It's not automated. For example, in the United States, let me make sure I clarify that. If you're outside the United States and you want to get involved with something like this with me, there is other software that can run automated where you don't have to click and accept trades. But unfortunately, with the requirements of the SEC and the financial institutions here, software is not allowed to be automated. The user and the person must review and accept the trade and say, yes, I want to do this trade. So external to the US, there's a similar product in addition to this one that will automatically run on its own and not require you to accept every single trade. You do the same settings. The only thing that's not required is your interaction with accepting trades. So if you're outside the US, I could talk to you about that product. If you're in the US, it's going to require you to accept the trade, and it's not that bad. You're not accepting every 2 minutes. You accept the trade takes however long to go through. It goes through, then you get an alert to there's another trade there. Do you want to take it? Yes or no? And then, it's not that it's not like you're going to look on your phone every 2 minutes to accept a trade. It's just the initial trade that's needed, and then the software manages the trade accordingly. So again, if you're interested, I don't want to make this video any longer. Please make sure you look underneath the video description to get in touch with me, make a comment. I'll share more information about this with you if you're interested. And again, this will be given to you as a tool for joining my team. If you decide to join my team, you can roadmap yourself and get yourself, understanding where you can be depending on what you do and how much money you add, how much you start with, how your software does. All those kind of things are visualized in front of you, because a lot of times if you don't visualize it, it's harder to understand. So this is just a visualization tool that you can see where you can be by December, by next year this time, 3 months from now. You can really kind of see where you'll be based on you setting up these variables. All right, so I look forward to having you on my team. I look forward to guiding you with the proper settings. Again, it's not financial advice. I can't give you financial advice, but I can give you recommended settings based on historical performances of the software and trading pairs and all that kind of stuff. That's all kind of talked through webinars, and they have a guy that talks about the software every week, gives you some insight into the news and things that's happening in the market that you might be aware of. And those are the times you might want to turn the software on, turn the software off. So there's a lot of resources and support in the company that will set you up to succeed. But again, you do have to be committed, and you will be involved. This is not a set it and forget it type thing. And you're not sending your money to let someone else do something with it. You're doing it for yourself. And you're just utilizing the software to take away the emotional and mindset things that typically hinder a lot of traders from succeeding. So when you take that out of the loop and it's just mechanical and it just does, exactly what you tell it to do every time, and it doesn't change its mind in the middle, those are the times that traders fail, because they go in with a plan, and then during a trade they change their plan because, you know what, it'll come back, let me put some more in. That's not how it works. You got to take out the emotions. You got to make it methodical. You got to have, you got to think of it as an algorithm. It's going to do the same thing every time. It's been proven to work every time it does it this way. Let's just continue doing it this way, and let's not change gears in the middle, because, like I said, that's the pitfall. The mindset and the risk management and the trading plan are the three most important things for a trader to get under control. So again, I'm not an expert in trading, but I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I'm just sharing what I know. So you might be looking at me like, okay, I know a lot more than you, and that's fine. But I'm sharing information with you. You decide if it's good, if it's information that you want to use, and if this is something for you to get involved in. So with that, I look forward to having you on my team. I'll be putting out another video in a couple of days, and just get in touch with me if you want some more information regarding this opportunity. Take care.